morning, everyone. Tina Spalding, Trance Channel here today again for our Daily Course in Miracles lesson together. Thank you for joining me today. Today we are doing lesson number 154. I am among the ministers of God. Let us today be neither arrogant nor falsely humble. We have gone beyond such foolishness. We cannot judge ourselves, nor need we do so. These are but attempts to hold decision off and to delay commitment to our function. It is not our part to judge our worth, nor can we know what role is best for us. What we can do within a larger plan, we cannot see in its entirety. Our past is cast in heaven. Our part is cast in heaven, not in hell. And what we think is weakness can be strength. What we believe to be our strength is often arrogance. Whatever your appointed role may be, it was selected by the voice for God, whose function is to speak for you as well, seeing your strengths exactly as they are and equally aware of where they can be best applied for what, to whom, and when. He chooses and accepts your part for you. He does not work without your own consent, but he is not deceived in what you are and listens only to his voice in you. It is through his ability to hear one voice, which is his own, that you become aware at last that there is one voice in you, and that one voice appoints your function and relays it to you, giving you the strength to understand it, do what it entails, and to succeed in everything you do that is related to it. God has joined his Son in this, and thus his Son becomes his messenger of unity with him. It is this joining through the voice for God of Father and of Son that sets apart salvation from the world. It is this voice which speaks of laws the world does not obey, which promises salvation from all sin, with guilt abolished in the mind that God created sinless. Now this mind becomes aware again of who created it and of his lasting union with itself. So is itself the one reality in which its will and that of God are joined. A messenger is not the one who writes the message he delivers, nor does he question the right of him who does, nor ask why he has chosen those who will receive the message that he brings. It is enough that he accept it, give it to the ones for whom it is intended, and fulfill his role in its delivery. If he determines what the messages should be, or what their purpose is, or where they should be carried, he is failing to perform his proper part as bringer of the word. There is one major difference in the role of heaven's messengers, which sets them off from those the world appoints. The messages that they deliver are intended first for them, and it is only as they can accept them for themselves that they become able to bring them further and to give them everywhere that they were meant to be. Like earthly messengers, they do not write the messages they bear, but they become their first receivers in the truest sense, receiving to prepare themselves to give. An earthly messenger fulfills his role by giving all his messages away. The messengers of God perform their part by their acceptance of his messages as for themselves, and show they understand the messages by giving them away. They choose no roles that are not given them by his authority, and so they gain by every message that they give away. Would you receive the messages of God? For thus do you become his messenger. You are appointed now, and yet you wait to give the messages you have received, and so you do not know that they are yours and do not recognize them. No one can receive and understand what he has received until he gives, for in the giving is his own acceptance of what he received. You who are now the messengers of God, receive his messages, for that is part of your appointed role. God has not failed to offer what you need, nor has it been left unaccepted. Yet another part of your appointed task is yet to be accomplished. He who has received for you the messages of God would have them be received by you as well, for thus do you identify with him and claim your own. It is just this joining that we undertake to recognize today. We will not seek to keep our minds apart from him who speaks for us, for it is but our voice we hear as we attend him. He alone can speak to us and for us, joining in one voice, the getting and the giving of God's word, the giving and receiving of his will. We practice giving him what he would have, that we may recognize his gifts to us. He needs our voice that he may speak through us. He needs our hands to hold his messages and carry them to those whom he appoints. He needs our feet to bring us where he wills, that those who wait in misery may be at last delivered. And he needs our will united with his own, that we may be the true receivers of the gifts he gives. Let us but learn this lesson for today. We will not recognize what we receive until we give it. You have heard this said 100 ways, 100 times, and yet belief is lacking still. But this is sure, until belief is given it, you will receive 1,000 miracles and then receive 1,000 more, but will not know that God himself has left no gift beyond what you already have, nor has denied the tiniest of blessings to his Son. What can this mean to you until you have identified with him and with his own? Our lesson for today is stated thus. I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. The world recedes as we light up our minds and realize these holy words are true. They are the message sent to us today from our Creator. Now we demonstrate how they have changed our minds about ourselves and what our function is. For as we prove that we accept no will we do not share, our many gifts from our Creator will spring to our sight and leap into our hands, and we will recognize what we received. And that is lesson number 154. I am among the ministers of God. Let's see what Jesus has to say to us today. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. And this, of course, puts fear into the heart of the ego. It does not really want to be a minister of God. It does not want to proselytize. And that is not really what this lesson is about. This lesson is about you employing in your thought, word, and deed the principles and energies of these lessons so that you are acting in accord with these lessons. In your demonstration of your understanding of what love is and what giving is and what extension is and what projection is and all of these things that you are learning as you are studying this material, in your demonstration of that, you are a minister of God. People witness you. They may come up to you and say, what is it that you're doing? You are not the same person you were before. And that is a perfect opportunity to share with them what you are doing. You do not need to stand on a soapbox. You will be guided. And if you are not being guided to do something as outlandish as this being is doing, do not fret, do not worry about it, but listen to your inner guidance. Listen to that still small voice within that says, take that class, go on that trip, phone that friend. That is how this being was trained. She was trained into listening to that guidance, and over many years she became very, very good at listening to that. And that was when we decided that she was capable and willing and able to do this work. And it has been a great growth experience for her, as you can imagine. But her many years of doing the Course in Miracles practices of forgiveness, asking for her own perception to be healed instead of asking for everyone else to be changed, set her up for doing this work. This is her specific assignment, and you all have a specific assignment. It may be in teaching children. It may be in becoming a healer of some kind. It may be in writing a book or painting a painting or growing a garden. Listen to your guidance. If you are happy doing something, then that is your purpose. And you may say, well, how is it so great that I'm gardening and I love gardening and that's my purpose? Well, everyone needs beautiful flowers and everyone needs fresh and luscious food, and the gardeners out there are going to become in greater and greater demand as your food systems become more and more obviously poisonous. You can see it happening already. So those beings that have been gardening for years wondering what their purpose is, their purpose is to bring into being beautiful, fresh, and healthy food that is uncontaminated. And that is where we ask you to go when you buy food. Buy it as cleanly as possible within your means at this time. You always have the ability even to change One item of food. Some of you will say Jesus shouldn't talk about food. It's not pure non-dualism. But we say to you, in your society, with the degree of pollution that you are dealing with, it is now an important subject that must be addressed. The toxins in your society are causing problems in your bodies that are untenable, and we ask all of you to choose as healthy a diet as possible. When you are on this ascension journey, frequency matches are the way it goes. So you have an increasing frequency on this planet because of the increasing frequency in your solar system and the increasing frequency in this part of the galaxy. And we want you to understand that the higher your frequency match to that, the less stress you will be under. So when you go outside walking in the sunlight or the dappled sunshine or the moonlight or the starlight, and you are out in the air and the fresh breezes of your natural environment, you are being upgraded. Know that this is true. And so when you start to feel a bit woozy from being on your computer too long, or a bit pummeled by being in front of your television too long, turn it off. Put your shoes or your sandals on and get outside and get an upgrade, and know that that is indeed what's happening. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and I will see you again tomorrow. All right. Thank you for joining me today. Bye.